In this video, I'm going to show you a short hike you can take to get to this historic homestead, this historic ranch that's called the Murray Ranch, sometimes called the Provancher Ranch, and it's right on this river. It's a really pretty little river that you can mess around with on the hike as well. You can cross it several times if you want to. So I'll show you a little bit about the hike and some details about the ranch. The Murray Homestead's located about 15 miles south of Pagosa Springs, and it's along the Blanco River. And to get on the hike, you'll park just outside the gate to the Blanco River Campground, which is shown here. I made a video of the road into the campground. It looks like this. So if you want to see that, you can see the road. It's just a gravel Forest Service road into the campground. The hike into the ranch follows the original road to the Murray Ranch, and that road is now closed to vehicles. It's part of the Forest Service. So it starts right at the Blanco River Campground where you're going to park your car, and then it ends at the Murray Ranch, and then you'll just return the same way. It's only about a mile, 1.1 miles to the ranch from the parking area. In total, it's about 2.2 miles round trip, and it's the original ranch to the road that's now used for hikers, horseback riders, bike riders, and it's closed in the winter because the main road is closed. So you'll hike along the Blanco River, but the road is at a higher elevation. So you're not going to be directly anywhere near the water until you get past the ranch. You're just going to stay on this little gravel road. And you'll be able to reach the water again once you go to the Murray Ranch Homestead area. The entire hike to the ranch on this 1.1 miles is only slightly uphill. It's not difficult. And then, of course, the return trip is all slightly downhill. So I've sped up the video so you can see what the road looks like, the entire trail, but you don't have to watch it at the pace that I go. So it's sped up so you can see it much quicker. This is a really quiet area, and it's unlikely you're going to see any other hikers or even anybody else. You might see some cows. I did this hike in June, and there was no one there. Sometimes people like to ride horses on this road, so you might see some horses. You'll definitely see evidence of them, but that's about it. It's a really pretty quiet area. You're going to encounter a few gates on this hike, just one if you just stay on the road. But if you go any further, there's a couple more. Just make sure you close them after yourself. That's because there's cows in here sometimes. So I'll give you a little background, some history of the ranch before we get there. In 1906, David Provancher, he acquired the ranch acreage and began raising cattle along the river. And he also built a mill and a cabin, but those were destroyed by a flood in 1911. And in that same year, Provancher and his neighbor, Archuleta, built the log house that's still standing there today. So you're going to see that in just a bit. Provancher, he established a self-sustaining homestead. There was a barn, sheds, corrals, garden, and a stock pond. And his family raised cattle, sheep, and garden produce. And it's still used for grazing today. People get a lease from the Forest Service to graze cattle, so you'll see evidence of those around. The family maintained the ranch until 1939, when the widowed and elderly Provancher sold the property to Ray and Blanche Murray. And after the Murrays, the ranch experienced a series of brief ownerships until it was acquired by the Forest Service in 1970. And it used to be open to the public for tours, I was told, by the Forest Service, but now it's just kind of there and you do it on your own. So today the Murray Ranch has the old log homestead cabin. There's the remains of a collapsed barn. There's a loading chute for cattle, a loafing shed, a partial root cellar, and a stock corral. And we'll look at those when we get there. So we made it to the cabin, the Homestead Ranch here, the Murray Homestead Ranch. You can see the remnants of the old homestead operations. There's the cabin, there's the chute, there's corrals. There's also the collapsed barn back there that we'll see in a second. But it's just all left as it was. As tempting as it may be, you do not want to go into this cabin. It's now inhabited by bats. So in 1977, it was discovered that this cabin serves as a large seasonal maternity roost for the fringed myotis, which is a sensitive species of bats that resides in southwest Colorado. And in the summer, these bats raise their young in the attic of this cabin before migrating south around October and returning in June the following year. So the insides are gross. You don't want to go in there. It's probably a lot of disease in there. Look at it from the outside and be happy with that. The hike that we did is just a little part of a much longer hike that's about 8 miles, and it goes in a loop and back down to the Blanco River Campground. We're going to turn left when the loop starts and just go down to the river. So we're just doing a small part of that hike, and then we're going to return back. We turn left at the cabin and go down through this pasture, and we're going to follow this little trail that's going to take us down to the river. So we're going to go through this pasture, take another pasture, and then to another pasture, and we'll land at the river, which is kind of nice. If you have a dog or something, they'll like it playing in that. So you can kind of follow the trail as I'm walking it now, but it's also easy to follow. There's a pretty defined trail to take. There's a couple more gates you're going to have to go through on this route. So again, just make sure you close them behind yourself. I found a turkey feather. We're just about at the river, and once you make it there, if you wanted to continue on the trail for that loop, it's about another 7 miles additionally, you would cross the river and keep following the trail. It's not terribly well marked, so make sure you have GPS or something that can tell you where to go. Once we were done in the river, I just turned around and went back. So we just take the same route back. It's a shorter way of just getting to the river and back than doing the whole loop, but it's pretty nice to get out there and hike and see the scenery. So then once you're back at the Murray Ranch, the Murray Homestead, whatever you want to call it, you just go back out to the right of the fence there. You see the gate, and just go back down the mile road to the area outside the Blanco River Campground and find your car, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed the hike.